Good morning and welcome to another episode of Espresso with Aaron and Sari. Today we're going to be talking about the four major philosophies of weight loss that will help you to win the game of weight loss every single time, and not just help you to lose weight, because we know that that's not the problem, but help you to keep the weight off that you lose. So if that has been a struggle for you, that has been an issue for you, is I can lose weight, but then you gained it back, you're going to want to listen to this video.
Yes. So let's just jump into the first one because I feel like it's a great segue and we'll take it from there. So the first one is that it is not about the weight that you lose, but rather who you become in the process. You know, um, the truth of the matter is, like for all of us, there's a deeper reason why we want to transform our body. Like when we come into our senses of, oh my gosh, I want to drop weight or I'm ready for a change, there is a certain feeling that we're feeling that inspires us wanting to change. And the truth of the matter is that manipulating weight fast is easy. Manipulating weight fast is easy. Now, becoming a different person who lives inside a different body is a completely different conversation than just body weight manipulation. Because here is what I can tell you, is that we can all go to a Turkish bath or to a not sauna, yeah, like the steam room, or we can all go to a steam room for literally 30 minutes and just have like a steam room party and sweat our asses off, and then we can all just line up and hop on the scale and say, hey, Melissa Morgenthaler, how much weight did you drop? Sherlyn, how much weight did you drop? Michelle Fole, how much weight did you drop? Right? And our egos are going to get blown up and we're going to feel really good about ourselves. And then as soon as we drink the next bottle of water, or maybe the next day, our weight's going to get back to being the same that it was, maybe like 0.2 pounds less, or maybe 0.3 pounds more. That is not the true reason of when you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, man, I am ready for a change. I need a change. Something needs to change. Because of something that's deeper than that. And true weight loss, true body transformation happens from the inside out, not from the outside in. And for some of you guys, that can be the first time that you're hearing this your entire life, right? So like we go about, please go ahead in the chat and drop a yes if you know that dropping weight has been something that you've been struggling with for more than 5 years. Drop a yes if this is you. And what is not often discussed is the transformation, real transformation that happens from the inside out, not from the outside in, right? So we go squirrel. Oh, you know what? Like today, I saw this ad on YouTube. I'm going to purchase this bodysuit that makes you sweat and that pumps up your abs and makes you drop 10 pounds in 10 minutes. Okay, now, is that really the solution to whatever thought happened deeply within you the first time you said, oh man, like I got to drop weight? Yes, 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 yes. I mean, look at all these yeses, right? So it gets to happen from the inside out, not from the outside in. Body weight manipulation is simple. It's easy. However, how we view it, I believe, is misunderstood. And I also believe that a lot of times the real truth is kept away from us. Because when you know the real truth, you have power. When you don't know the real truth, you're going to continue to be distracted. You're going to feel powerless. And I feel like this is really empowering right now because it is a very special season, right? Like tomorrow is the 4th of July, right? And, like tomorrow is the day where the Declaration of Independence was signed by our founding fathers, a few courageous men who who have made an oath and have allowed us to have the opportunity to freely choose so that we can live in a way that aligns with who we are authentically, right? And I believe that our body is a vehicle to self-expression, which is one of the basic human needs, self-expression. So, whenever we come to our senses of, oh, like I want to drop weight, it's because there's something in your current self-expression that you feel like you're missing, right? And so many times, if you know that this is true, go ahead and drop truth. Because many of you guys said I've been struggling with this for over 5 years. The truth has not been revealed to you, right? So like you'd go take this pill, you'd go, drink a tablespoon of this, thinking that it's going to go away. You'll drink a magic potion thinking that, like your life is going to change. Coming to find out what? The same answer over and over and over again. And what does that do? That touches your belief system, right? The more time you fall on your face, the more your belief system gets tested. Okay. And that's why you got to learn to play the game right.
I want to translate that.
Yeah.
So, we say all the time, it's not about the weight you lose, but who you become in the process. It may or may not be the first time that you hear us say that. And it won't be the last time you stick around for even another week. So it's not about the weight you lose. Do you want the scale to go down? Yes, of course. And the way that happens is from an internal transformation. There is no external transformation without an internal transformation, period. The results are, if they're superficial, they last for a very short period of time. So it's just like, an iceberg. All you see is what's at the top, and that is not what really can destroy the entire boat, right? So everything that really matters is what's below the surface. And on the surface, carbs, counting calories, tracking macros, logging into MyFitnessPal, reducing sugar or alcohol intake or food meal timing or number of grams of protein that's optimal for whatever, glycemic index of a banana versus an orange is all so on the surface that if what's below that isn't managed, isn't confronted, isn't handled, then any sort of external transformation or any sort of transformation of the top it's irrelevant. Because, okay, I heard this analogy, and this is where it touches your belief system. So that's what I want to translate to, is we go through this cycle of, for me, it started with looking at myself in the mirror. I feel like all the mean things I would say about myself and the feelings that I would feel when I looked at myself in the mirror. So you can, take your own scenario and place in the appropriate phrases or thoughts that you have about you when you look in the mirror. And then, okay, I'm going to go on a diet or whatever the diet means. I don't know. I'm going to change my food. I'm going to work out more. Those are usually the two things that we think about first, right? Is food and workouts, diet, exercise. Again, you're a whole person. So it's not about the weight. It's not about the workouts. It's not about the food. It's why do I make the decisions that I make? Where does that come from internally? If I have an orange and I squeeze the orange, what comes out of the orange? Please, somebody tell me. If I have an orange and what comes out of the orange? You all are so smart. I know that you know the answer to this question. Juice. What kind of juice? Apple juice?
Grape juice.
Grape juice?
Tomato juice.
Orange juice. Yes, if I squeeze an orange juice comes out. Why? Because what happens on the outside is what's from inside. If I were to squeeze you, what would come out of you? Whatever's in your heart, whatever your dominating thoughts are.
So good.
If you think I'm fat, I suck, I'm unworthy, nobody loves me, I'm ugly, guess what? That's what's going to be expressed externally. Okay, Erin, how do I change that? So when we go through this cycle, I'm going to come back around. When we go through the cycle of, I don't like how I look or what I weigh or how my clothes fit, I'm insecure, whatever the things are, call them whatever it is for you. So I'm going to change my habits so that I can improve that situation. And then by improving that situation, or by doing those things, the diet, the exercise, if it's not, which is going to lead into the second philosophy, which I'll tell you in just a second. If you do really good at that for like a certain period of time, a few days, a week, a couple of weeks, maybe a month, and then you start slipping back into old habits, you fail, you quit, whatever. And then again, now at this point, my belief, what happens to it? When Sarit says it touches your belief, when every time you fail, what happens? Here goes my belief. Here goes my belief. Here goes my belief. How many of you actually, when you start dieting, expect yourself to fail again? I want to see it. Put diets suck in the comments. Diets suck. If you start like, I'm going to lose weight, and you expect yourself, there is even a sliver of like, I'm probably going to fail this anyways. I'll let you guys go. Because I know that every time I started over, every time I failed, I was like, is this even going to happen for me? So what that leads into then is the next philosophy, which is, if you don't like, or if you don't feel like the method that you're using to lose weight is something that you can sustain and enjoy doing for the rest of your life, don't start there. You can work your way up to there, but do not start there. Why? A couple months ago, I gave the analogy of climate change in a really abrupt scenario. You live in southern Florida and you go to Antarctica trying to wear the same stuff you wear in southern Florida. Your body is adapted to the climate, the humidity, the tropicalness, the warmth, all of that, and then you go boom with no transition in between. It's kind of like you put a frog in a pot of like room temperature water, and you turn the heat on and let it boil. The frog doesn't recognize that the water is getting warmer until it's too late, right? That's the goal, is for you to not recognize that there's any changes happening until you're so unfuckwithable and unstoppable and bulletproof, because the way that you did it was the way that you could maintain and enjoy doing for the rest of your life in that moment. So right now, when we bring clients into our one-on-one program, we have an inner circle program. When we bring clients into that program, one of the things is like, are you sure this is all I have to do? Are you sure? Like this, are you sure this is going to work? Why? Because it doesn't feel like enough. It doesn't feel like it's hard enough. It doesn't feel, but guess what? If it's too hard, how long are you going to keep doing it? If it feels overwhelming, how long are you going to keep doing it? If it feels like you have to change your entire life to fit some cookie cutter thing, how long are you going to keep doing that? If you don't like the food, how long are you going to keep doing it? If you go to a restaurant and you ask the waitress, can you please cut me about 4 ounces of chicken breast with half a cup of brown rice and 1 cup of broccoli, and they serve pizza, you're fucked. Okay, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, and if you haven't already, built systems that are basically second nature for you, how long are you going to be able to continue doing it? So it's all about building sustainability. And a lot of times, when we have that, let's say, minute in the mirror, or that like realization in front of the mirror, or whenever we have that realization of, oh, I really need to do something, or, oh, I should really, like, in fact, I'd love to know, like, what was your realization when you first walked into our community? Like, what was the thought that you had? I would love to know that. So whenever we have that thought and we want everything to change like 5 minutes ago, so that we won't have that thought, like in that moment, we are ready to do anything. It's like, coach, Like if you were to tell me to drink 10 gallons today, I would. If you were to tell me to, like stay up all night, I would. If you were to tell me to never eat meat again, I would. If you were to tell me to never eat carbs again, I would. And then life starts to happen, right? Like when you're so close to the pain, you would do anything. But then when we get distracted by life, we're no longer confronted with the pain.
Or when the pain's not in our face.
Yeah.
Right? You don't run from a bear until the bear's threatening.
Right. Then what we end up falling back on is our standards.
Wait. Let's sit here for a minute. This is so good. There's a quote, you do not rise to the level of your effort, you fall to the level of your standards. Something like that. I may have just butchered that, and I'm not sure who said it. Somebody said it, I got it from somewhere. You do not rise to the level of your efforts, you fall to the level of your belief or your standards.
Yeah.
So if your standards are bottom surface level low, and you fail to that. That's where you go back to.
Yeah.
It's like when you pass a level on a video game. It's like then you go to the next level and you fail that level. You got to go back to the level that you just were at.
Yeah. So when life happens, which raise your hand if life happened to you last week.
Oh, I think so.
Just put hands in the chat because we can see your raise.
We like to be interactive.
Yeah. Then you're gonna end up falling back to the standard. So it's about building a system that allows you to continuously raise your standards rather than I'm going to do I'm going to go from not doing any workouts to doing 2 workouts, and I'm going to go from drinking Diet Coke all day to drinking gallons of water. We end up falling back to our standards, and standards are raised and created over time, not overnight. Okay, so philosophy number 2.
Oh, James Clear, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. Very similar.
That's awesome.
I heard it a little bit different, but yes, 100% that concept.
Yeah. Hero Atomic Habits. So point number 2 is, like in the moment when you have that realization, I got to do something about it, and you're like, oh, well, let's see what's around. And like you have some extreme things, like let's say it's 2500, or those things that are now very popular that everybody knows about, sound really, really cool, flashy, and fancy.
And extreme. I notice people like extreme because you feel like if you do extreme, you're going to get extreme results. And you do, and then also you get extreme whiplash.
People like extreme because extreme feeds their ego. And like when you change your physicality, it does touch your ego.
That was a dagger to the heart for all of us.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
So it's deeper than the ego. If you just feed the ego, it's going to end up being self-destructive. That's why also a lot of people who end up going far, like, a few CrossFit athletes that we know, like it feeds their ego so much to the point where it becomes harmful to their well-being, like physically, mentally, emotionally, right? So it's about sustainability. If all 4 levels, the physical, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, are not aligned, your ego, which is the mental and the physical, could be blown through the roof. If the emotional and the spiritual are not aligned with it, it's only a matter of time that you're going to fall back. So
it makes you think about a rubber band. Like if you take a rubber band and you stretch it out and you leave it there, eventually it loses elasticity and it doesn't go back to its original state, right? Like it's stretched there. We're going to go more into detail about this in one of these weeks. But If you stretch it too far too fast, what happens? If it can't handle the tension, if it can't handle the pressure, it breaks. So it's like, again, going to the acclimation, right? If I'm not acclimated to the weather, my body is going to respond probably by getting sick, right? So let's say, if your normal lifestyle is like, I eat fast food a couple times a week, soda, a little bit throughout the week, usually eat like a sugary snack a day, a few days a week after dinner, or I just binge regularly, to expect yourself to be able to go from that to no fast food, no sugar, no carbs, exercising when you didn't exercise, maybe like a couple of walks during the week, exercising 5 days a week for an hour. Like that's so much change, so much tension, so much pressure that you're likely to break. Right? Now, not that that's if you're not capable, sure. Is it the most sustainable and like sure way to get to where you want to be? No, I've seen it over and over and over again. In fact, nearly 100% of the women that come into the Inner Circle program have been in a position where they've tried a bunch of different things and failed a bunch of times. So, it is that like, oh, if I'm trying to start way out here, but I'm used to being here, it's just not going to work. It's like go from here to here. Oftentimes, though, we're just not okay with it because we're like, that's not going to get us good enough results or fast enough results. And then come back to the question that I love asking: would you rather it take you an entire year to lose only 20 pounds, an entire year to only lose 20 pounds, when you know damn well you can do it in 3 months? Or would you rather keep trying to lose the same 20 pounds for the rest of your fucking life?
Drop the answer, as a matter of fact. A or B? A, 20 pounds in 1 year. By the way, it doesn't have to be 20 pounds. It could be more. Or it's the concept. Or would you rather lose 20 pounds in 3 months and then
gain it back and plus 10 more, then try to lose that, then gain it back plus 5 or 10 more? Yeah. A all the way. Baby. A all the way. Baby.
By the way, and there is a better way to do that depending on how much weight you want to drop. If you know that you've been struggling to drop weight for a really, really long time and you are interested on, just knowing what is the surefire way where I can do this sustainably and continue to grow from it and not limit how much weight I'm able to lose, rather mentally, emotionally, and physically continue to break through these current feelings that we've all set on ourselves. Like I've heard so many times from, just women in our community, like let's say I dropped 40 pounds and I know how to drop the next 10, but then anything beyond that, I just, the weight starts going up again, right? It's like you hit that like vicious plateau that keeps coming up and then like you go back up, right? And then like the yo-yo begins. If you know that this is you, then chat with us, either Erin or myself. Yeah. Email help me to erin@erinandfareed.com so that we can help you to find a solution where we can do this in a much, much better way without having to spin around your tail like a cat chasing its tail. Sherlyn Ellis.
I would say email me, help me, Rhonda, but then that might be confusing. Okay. And it is, I use 20 pounds in a year as an extreme example because it's obviously, it doesn't take a year to lose 20 pounds. It's the method in which you use. And the point being, if the method that you use is not something that you would be happy doing for the rest of your life, or feel like you could follow through with on a bad day, very important, don't start there. Simplify it. Simplify it. And this is exactly what we do. Okay. So simplify. What's the third one?
Yeah, so
today's fire. Drop a fire emoji if you are enjoying this video.
So the third one is kind of like to top off from a mechanical standpoint. What happens with the second one is incremental changes lead to monumental results. So like speaking about those 20 pounds or 30 pounds, as a matter of fact, I'd love to know from you guys in the chat after you're done dropping the fire emoji. Fire it away first is, like in your perfect world, how much weight are you looking to drop? And if you want to play the game right and make it sustainable, then you want to lead with incremental changes rather than monumental changes. So like, for example, when I just gave you guys some examples of what I hear people do when they have that like aha moment, like, okay, I'm ready to change, I'm ready to transform, coach. What do I need to do? Yeah, like I'm ready for it, right? You're like, I'll do anything until, like life happens. Like you go from, 0 workouts per week to 14 workouts per week, because it's not even about being consistent once a day, every day. It's about doing 2 a day. You're so committed and you're so ready. And, like you're going to, like the bodybuilders, going to start walking around with your gallon of water, even though up until yesterday, all you had in your fridge was Coke Zero. I mean, of course, you're drinking Coke Zero because who would drink Coke? We are always on a diet. Duh. I speak to you like because I know that that's who I used to be. And you go from having those sweet treats or whatever your thing is to just chewing gum and like not having anything at all, right? And it sounds good in the moment. Again, it feeds the ego. Feeds the ego. But then when life happens, your ego is also going to be the first one to talk you out of it. Oh, just have one bite.
Is it really your friend?
Oh, you're so sore. Skipping one workout won't hurt. You already did 13.
It's like the little devil and the little angel.
Yeah. And you need to train yourself. Like there's mental training that is involved in order to help you to learn what voice do I turn on, and how do I shut off, the voice that makes me go for that extra brownie, for the voice that tells me, oh, just you already did a couple workouts this week, it's 4th of July anyways, everybody's staying in, just like, sleep for another hour or so. It's not about that. It's about what voice are you feeding each and every single day. So the voice that you feed more is going to be the voice that is going to lead you. Yep. When tough situations come around, right? So if you do what you do simply based on ego, when tough moments are going to come, because that is the trained voice, it is your ego that's also going to talk you out of doing what gets to get done.
Yeah. So being okay with the incremental changes, knowing that over a period of time it compounds, it really compounds. It's like, if I saved, if I doubled the amount that I saved every single day for 10 years and all I started with was a penny, it doesn't seem like it grows very much at the beginning. We've got 1 penny, then 2 pennies, then 4 pennies, then 8 cents, then 16 cents, then 32 cents, then 64 cents, then 128, 100. Okay, that's it. That's all I go. Math is done for me right there. Okay, so now you all know my cap. Good. But after 10 years of doing that every single day, you're in the millions, probably tens of millions, right? And all I did was start with a penny and then 2, and then 4. And then however far Aaron's math goes, which is not very much money, I'm doomed. So that's all that it is. Anywho, so the fourth. So number 1, it is not about the weight you lose. I would say as much as it is about who you become in the process, because we still care. It's not about the weight you lose, it's about who you become in the process. Number 2 is
sustainability.
If it's not a method that you want to keep doing for the rest of your life, don't start there. Number 3, incremental changes yield monumental results. That was inspired by our homie Ken Jocelyn. If any of you have ever been on any of our episodes or lives or whatever with him on it. Awesome dude. Shout out Ken. Probably he's not going to see this, but that's cool. I know in my heart I said it. And then number 4.
Yeah, and then number 4, which is kind of like the other side of incremental over monumental, and is, progress, not perfection. So like a great example of implementing that. Let's say, it is the 4th of July, right? And I don't know what you're doing, what your family's doing, and like let's say everybody likes to gather around and like have a barbecue and then eat some dessert. So it's like, how can I make the best choice possible while raising my standards? So for example, let's say if everybody's eating ice cream around you, like could you have that has a very similar experience that is probably healthier for you? So like for example, protein ice cream. Okay. Now, the pseudo health foods is a completely different conversation. However, from a concept standpoint, it is how do I, if I want to have a similar intention while leading with better, then lead with progress, not perfection. Okay. Or, for example, maybe, like your family has a barbecue and, everybody wants to eat hot dogs or anything along those lines, like maybe have a protein source that's a bit cleaner.
Like a chicken sausage.
Yeah, maybe have a chicken sausage instead of just, straight up hot dogs.
And progress, not perfection, really is a matter of reducing self-beat up, ultimately. So if you've ever, torn yourself down, insulted yourself, beat yourself up, bullied yourself because you know, you failed or you slipped up or you gave into your craving or whatever. Progress, not perfection, is meant to produce that thought, right? Like being better than is better than trying to be perfect and then failing, right? So it's almost a permission to not be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Because also nobody is. I'm going to look for a book that talks really amazingly about this. And then there's also a bonus philosophy that I'm going to give you.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. So it's about sticking to an intention that will allow you to quote unquote what we call harmonize what matters to you in life with your goals. Just because let's say you love ice cream doesn't mean that you need to give up on it. Definitely not if you are at a point where you've got 50 pounds to drop. That's whether it's for ice cream, whether it's for, like your favorite cocktail, whether it's for your favorite food. Like the whole giving up thing, that is on the extreme end. Until you're at a point where, like, from an action standpoint, you have built a really strong foundation and you have been super consistent, you're not ready for extreme, like mentally and emotionally and spiritually, just being honest. And then physically, like your body doesn't even need extreme until you're at a point where you're already super cut. Now you want to be like extra shredded. I believe that most people don't even want that. It is actually so much simpler than we think to get ahead and enjoy our lives in the process. Now, the issue is because we've been taught that, it's not painful, it's not going to work. If, we're not sore all the time, it's not going to work. If we're not feeling like we're starving ourselves or farting up broccoli, it's not going to work. It doesn't have to be this way. There is a better way. And some of you guys are, I see some names. You guys have been around the community for a minute. Appreciate you. Some of you guys are new to the community, and maybe it's the first time you're hearing this. So just trust the process.
Take it all in.
Take it in. These philosophies work, and I mean, the OGs will be first to tell you.
Okay. a little bit of Marie Forleo on perfectionism. This, by the way, is from the book Everything is Figure Outable. This is not what the cover looks like. It has one of those little fancy covers. Those things just irritate me, so I take them off. Okay, so perfectionism, and remember, I'm about to give you a bonus philosophy. Okay, before that, let's talk about perfectionism. Okay, perfectionism at its core isn't about high standards. It is about fear of failure, fear of looking stupid, fear of making a mistake, fear of being judged, criticized, and ridiculed. It's a fear that one simple fact might be true. You're just not good enough. Not my words, but I could read you a bedtime story if you're interested by this. Which, by the way, is unequivocally true. Sure, you may need to build your skills and strengths to achieve your dream. Who doesn't? But the notion that you fundamentally don't have what it takes is a lie. That voice in your head that says so is just that same repetitive, tired ass shit talker we discussed in the last chapter. The same voice we now agreed to, what is it? Ardently disobey. Never heard that before.
Yeah, neither have I.
Know this. Fear is not being good enough. Fear of not being good enough is universal. Everyone, and I do mean everyone, wrestles with it. The problem occurs when this fear metastasizes into full-blown perfectionism. We cause perfectionism because perfectionism is paralyzing. Perfectionism keeps you suffering and spinning your wheels, but the danger is far beyond stuckness. Once perfectionism has a chokehold on your creative life force, it will stop at nothing to snuff you out. Marie! If anybody knows Marie Forleo, tag her in this video. Okay, I'm going to skip some parts because we could be here all day and it would be a really great time. And I'm sure you have things to do. So I'm going to read some things that I underlined. Perfectionism correlates with depression, anxiety, eating disorders, and other mental health problems. Perfectionism is deadly, harmful to your health, happiness, productivity. In a sad and ironic twist, it's often the primary blocking device that prevents you from becoming, achieving, and feeling your best. Nothing about it is helpful. Okay, I laughed at this because this is like the headline of one of the paragraphs. Starting small and sucky beats staying sucky. Would you rather it take you a year to lose 20 pounds or continue to lose the same 20 pounds for the rest of your life? Same thing. Starting small and sucky is better than staying sucky. I think I like her there. Something I underlined, giving myself the space and grace to suck is the only way I've gotten remotely good at anything. Every pro starts off as an amateur.
So true.
Okay.
So true.
From this moment forward, all you strive for is progress, not perfection. Progress, not perfection. Capiste? That means that's the measuring stick you use to determine whether you're on track. That's all you care about. Did you make progress? Did you apply effort and learn to grow as it relates to what you want? It doesn't matter how small, progress is all you are after. This is one of the core principles I drill into the hearts and minds of over 50,000 B-School students. This is why I want to be her friend, man. We're just on the same level. It's so transformative that at least one student had this mantra tattooed on her forearm. Tens of thousands of survey replies. Progress, not perfection, is repeatedly cited as participants' most pivotal game-changing breakthrough. It prevents premature quitting and the mental agony that accompanies wondering if you should. That's how powerful it is to think in terms of progress and not perfection. Perfection will choke you until you die.
Yeah.
When you understand, oh, I made progress, and that is good. And the more times I do that, the better I get, the better you feel, the more confident you are. And it starts small.
Yeah.
Okay, bonus philosophy.
Ooh, let's go.
Every day's day one, bitch! So this is something that I remind myself of. Two things. They kind of are the same. Every day's day one, and I'm just getting warmed up. And we have these bracelets just getting warmed up. By the way, you can get them on our website, shop.erinandsarit.com, and they're like $3. I don't know, something like that. Every day is day one, just getting warmed up. And it's just a reminder, whatever happened yesterday. There's nothing you can do about it, sweetheart. Nothing. The best thing that you can do with yesterday is learn whatever you needed to learn from whatever had happened, and then bring that with you. Leave the rest. It's irrelevant. It's unhelpful. Nothing about it. You need now, because we're now.
That's right.
And tomorrow gets to stress about itself. We're not even there yet. We don't even know if we'll be there, right? So we get to live right now, and we get to do what is the best that I have today, right now, in this moment. And let me give that, to be proud of myself for that.
Amen. Yeah, it allows you to lead in a humble and hungry manner, right? Like if you've been super consistent, if you've been on it, then, leading with every day day one, it gives you the attitude of, bitch, I'm done, not yet. It don't matter that you drop 20 pounds. It don't matter that you drop 30 pounds. A lot of times people think that because I lost the weight, now I can like press off the gas pedal and, oh yeah, let's have a donut here, I'll do this. And then that can lead into the backwards path.
100%. That is true. Don't think that because you're doing well, you get to stop doing what got you there. And at the same time, it is important. I know you would agree with me on this, but this is not what it sounded like. It is important that we acknowledge what we have accomplished, because those are proof, right? Those are your proof. Yeah. Those are the things that you're like, look, here's what I have done. Here's what I have learned. Here's why I am awesome. Here's why I am great. Let me remind myself. But don't expect that those things matter for today, because today is different. Today is new. Rent is still due today, and you get to pay up.
Yeah.
So because you paid rent last month doesn't mean you don't have to pay rent this month, right?
Sure.
So acknowledge you and what you've accomplished. Yes, it is very significant and important. And don't expect that, because I've already done this, I don't have to keep doing it, because you'll stop getting the results that you got.
Amen.
So that's, like, for the record, the teeter-totter of those two things is, skill.
Shall we share with them what we have coming up?
I don't know. Share whatever you want to share. We have things coming up. You want to hear about that?
Okay, so 4th of July is a very, very big deal for us. Obviously, it's the Day of Independence. You may or may not know this. We're very patriotic. I was born in Israel. I'm an immigrant. It took me 14 years to become an American citizen.
And I pledged allegiance to the flag when I was in grade school.
Yes, and we're very grateful to be American. So for the 4th of July, for all of you ES Army peeps, I'm just going to share with you that on our shop, we're going to be dropping some limited batch merch for the 4th of July. That is super freaking awesome. I know that Erin and I
already ordered mine.
We both ordered ours because we could. However, you could starting tomorrow, and it is in limited quantities. So just set a reminder. There will also be communication, I think, going out via email.
Yeah, keep an eye on your emails. We are very respectful in our emails. We've in the past sent way too many emails. Yes, I agree with you. And now we send very important emails. So keep an eye on your email. We want to give you the opportunity to jump in. The new merch is not going to be discounted, but there will be merch that is discounted. And there's also going to be programs that are discounted. So you're going to want to check out all of that stuff that happens starting tomorrow. Keep an eye on your email.
Yeah. If you what? You have something else? You look like
there's a couple of things coming up. I just want to be real with you guys, let you know what we have coming up. Okay, is that okay? You guys want to know what's coming up? Do you want to know what the haps?
Yes.
Do you want to know what's the haps? Is that what the kids say these days? What's the haps? What's good? I don't know what's good. Okay. Okay. So I'm very biased, but I think
they didn't drop yes. I don't know if they really want to know though. So
yeah, I don't know either. I mean, okay, we can shut it off. It's not a big deal. Okay, got it. Tell me. Okay, here's the dealio. Okay, so there's a few things coming up. We're actually doing a really special event with we are hosts. We are hosts with co-hosts along with Haley, Ashley, Sarah, 3 other very powerful, amazing women that we have just grown to know and adore. Ashley actually was on one of our episodes very
recently. She was on last month.
You guys loved her. So she's one of the co-hosts as well. There's other speakers that will be joining us in addition to the 5 of us. That is happening in July. That's going to be happening this month in a couple of weeks. You'll hear more about that via email also, so keep your eyes out for that. Another thing is some of you may be very excited about, I'm not sure, is that we're going to be doing another Transformation Kickstart Challenge live. More.
That is
August. That's going to be in August. Yeah, that's coming up. Okay. So that's just exciting things. I just wanted to give you guys like a, that's what's going on in ES world. And if you're excited about it, wonderful. I'm excited for you.
Yeah. We love you guys. Excited to, rep with you the new year. I'm really excited.
You're going to like it.
I'm actually going to start wearing it.
Okay. When you get it, please post a picture. I know some of you guys, come in closer. Come on. Okay, too close. Okay, so some of you guys are scared to post on a Facebook group. And I understand. It's scary, but 25 says there's 25,000 people. I can tell you 25,000 people are not engaged. Now, it's a very safe place. And we made the group private so that you could feel comfortable and confident about posting. We are real people. If you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're real and you're not a scam and you're like, you really care and you're actually like a human being and I can relate to you, get your gear and make a post because I want to see it.
Yes.
Okay. That's my request. That's all.
And then my request is if you found this video valuable and you know that, like 4th of July, you're going to be hanging out with your mother-in-law, with your aunt, with your sister-in-law, and they keep telling you every single time you see them that they're on a new diet and you're like, let's get you on the right path. Please share with them the love. That's the gift that keeps on giving. We know that we have the solution to all things body transformation. And I'll tell you, it is so much easier than you think. And if you happen to be new to our community and you know that you want to, dive deeper with regards to setting up a plan for yourself that will help you to solve whatever your problem is, then please feel free to reach out to us, either make a post in the Facebook group or just email Erin or myself, help@Erin@ErinSarita.com or Sarita@ErinSarita.com. It's super simple. And, we'll do everything that we can to lead you to the right path. We love you guys. We believe in you guys. We're real people just like you. Period. That's all.
I think that it's amazing, and I feel like excited. Should be a shirt too. So, okay, you guys, like Sarit said, if it's valuable, if you thought of anybody during this video, it was powerful, if you took anything away from it, the best thing that you could do for somebody else that you care about in your life is get them on the same page and share this with them so that they can have the same language. They can understand what you're learning. When you have people, when you try to tell somebody, hey, I'm doing this thing and I'm eating better, I'm doing this, and then you like self-development and you like start growing, they're like weirded out because they don't understand it because they're not hearing what you're hearing. So if you invite them to hear what you're hearing, it's easier on you.
Yeah.
So that's our share for today. Happy 4th of July, y'all.
Make good decisions and celebrate your freedom.
Amen.
See
ya.